Let's talk about intimacy today, and specifically emotional intimacy. It's this thing that we want in our relationships. Like, maybe you don't call it that. You might be saying, I just want to feel deeply connected to this person. But wanting something and then knowing how to do it, what steps you have to take, those are very different things. So how do you do it? Let's talk about it today. I'm Stacy Rocklein, and it is my mission to eradicate loneliness. And one of the ways we do that is by creating these deep connections in our relationships, and especially like our really, really close ones, our romantic partnerships, our bonds with our family. We want emotional intimacy. We want to know how they're feeling, and we want to be able to feel and be received by the other person. Here's the problem. I'm 49, and I know in my generation, we weren't really taught how to do it. It's a very unique individual who has this high emotional intelligence just naturally coming out of their childhood house. No fault of any generations before us. It wasn't done by anybody, where you have feelings and you talk about them, and the grown-ups in your life help you figure out what they are and welcome you to say them, welcome you to name them, welcome you to feel them, and don't try to fix you and don't try to get you to repress them or talk you out of them. That's how we develop our emotional intelligence, and it just wasn't done for us. And I'm totally generalizing because it's not just our generation and all of the people that came before us. It's still a problem. It's still something we don't do. I know for me, because I came really late to this game and I learned how to do it, and as an adult, that when my kids were little, I wasn't helping them with it either. And I just didn't know. But I've learned, and you can learn too. So you might come to somebody in your life, maybe it's your romantic partner, your spouse, and you say, I just want to feel really deeply connected to you. What you mean is you want emotional intimacy. And they're like, I want to give that to you, but I have no idea how. Or they might just look at you like a deer in headlights. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So it's a lot easier to understand what it is and what's a step that you can take. So when I think of emotional intimacy, I think of this kind of dance where I feel a feeling. And I'm feeling this feeling, and I don't want to feel alone with it. And so I want to share it. And I want to share the feeling, and I want the other person to stay while I'm feeling it, and not like it be so uncomfortable that they just need to get out of there or have to talk me out of it or problem solve, or all the things that we do because we're uncomfortable around feelings. I want them to just be like, I'm going to be with you while you have this feeling. And then I want the other part of it too. I want them to have a feeling and to share it. And I want to just be in that experience with them. And when we do this dance with each other, we develop this deep connection. And it's not that we're just venting and we're pissed off, kind of share our feelings, but that we share our fears and the things that get us really excited, and our sadnesses and our grief and our humiliations and our worries and all of that stuff. We want that deep connection. So that's how I kind of think about what it is. So the first step is actually to know what you're feeling. And that sounds easy, but it's not if you've never done it before. So you can use a tool, and here's a tool, and you can grab this as a free download. This is a feel wheel. And so a lot of times we're familiar with the middle ones, the big ones, right? Happy, angry, sad, fearful, because we have talked about those. Now, that does not mean that people, when you were little, were comfortable with you feeling those things. They still might wanted you to stop, don't get angry, push that down. If you're going to cry, go to your room to cry, or whatever they told you. But at least you know names for some of the things. But there are a lot of other feelings that are more nuanced, more specific, that you are already feeling. They're there, right? A lot of times they're covered up with anger. They are there, but you have to have a way to figure out what they are. So a tool can be really helpful. We use this in my house. This is where I started as a grown-up, when I was like, I probably need to figure out what I'm feeling, right? The more like really specific things, because it feels different to feel angry than it does to feel embarrassed, right? Or disrespected or violated, or, all of these things. So the first thing you're going to do is just figure out what you're feeling. And so when I'm offering this to you because of this is it takes a while to develop this emotional intelligence, but you have to have a place to start. And when you go to somebody that you love, instead of saying, I want to be closer to you, which they have no idea what to do with that, you can say, I want to know what you're feeling. And I want you feeling your feeling to feel safe with me. I want you to know that I'm going to stay here for this. And I'm going to just be here if you're willing to share it with me. And if you don't know what you're feeling, here you go. Slide that across the table. Here is a way for us to talk about it. And maybe it's you and you need this because you're not sure what you feel. And there's no shame in that, because like I said, a lot of us have to begin at the beginning. So take a first small step. Give somebody a win. Give somebody the rules of the game. Give them a way to develop emotional intimacy with you by telling them where we're starting. And grab this. Make sure you get this at the link. Just download this, print it out, cut it up, or don't. Throw it on the refrigerator. Have it accessible. I put mine on cardboard because this thing gets tossed all over the house. And let them know that you want to know how they feel, and if they don't know how to do that yet, you have the patience and the motivation to stay with them while they do it, and you have a way to do it. All right. I wish you intimate relationships, emotionally close ones, and I will see you next time.